नमस्कार, द पब्लिक न्यूज़ 24 में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं योगेश और मैं आपके लिए लाया हूं विज्ञान से जुड़ी एक नई खबर। इस महीने ब्लैक होल पर एक नई किताब आती है और आते ही अमेज़न, फ्लिपकार्ट में साइंस के बेस्ट सेलिंग बुक्स में शामिल हो जाती है। बुक का नाम द राइज एंड फॉल ऑफ द ब्लैक होल पैराडाइम। पर इसमें सबसे विशेष बात यह है कि यह बुक एक इंडियन ऑथर ने लिखी है और उनका नाम है डॉक्टर आभास मित्रा। भाभा एटॉमिक रिसर्च सेंटर यानी कि बार्क के थ्योरेटिकल फिजिक्स के हेड रहे आभास मित्रा सर भारत के एक चर्चित वैज्ञानिकों में से एक हैं। इस बात को आप ऐसे समझ सकते हैं कि जुलाई 2005 में हार्वर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी की ब्लैक होल थ्योरी पे एक प्रेस रिलीज निकलती है और उसके ओरिजिन का क्रेडिट इंडिया को दिया जाता है। बहुत रेयर केसेस में ही साइंस के थ्योरीज की क्रेडिट इंडियंस को दी जाती है और यह क्रेडिट थी डॉक्टर आभास मित्रा सर के ब्लैक होल के थ्योरीज को। बात यहाँ तक ख़त्म नहीं होती, बल्कि स्टीफन हॉकिंग ने खुद 2014-15 में माना था कि ट्रू ब्लैक होल जैसा हम सोचते हैं या जैसा उन्होंने बताया वैसा एग्जैक्टली होता नहीं है, और यही बात आभास मित्रा सर सालों से कहते आए हैं। अगर ब्रीफ में आभास सर की थ्योरी की बात करें तो हम जिस ट्रू ब्लैक होल की बात करते हैं या पढ़ते हैं उसे कुछ भी एस्केप नहीं हो सकता, इवन लाइट भी। यह बात तो आपने सुनी होगी, और उसमें इवेंट हॉराइजन भी होता है। वहीं आभास सर ने बताया कि जिसको हम ट्रू ब्लैक होल बोलते हैं वो एक्चुअली में एक ब्लैक होल मिमिकर है, यानी कि कुछ फोटॉन ही सही, थोड़ी रोशनी ही सही, पर एस्केप ज़रूर करेगी। उन्होंने यह भी बताया कि यह एक आँख का गोला होता है और इसमें स्ट्रॉन्ग मैग्नेटिक फील्ड होता है जिसको मीको बोला जाता है, यानी कि मैग्नेटोस्फेरिक इटर्नली कोलैप्सिंग ऑब्जेक्ट। हमने इसी विषय पर मित्रा सर से बात की। उनसे हमें यह भी पता चला कि कैसे ब्लैक होल पे मिले नोबेल प्राइजेस में आधी सच्चाई छुपाई जाती है, कैसे हमें ब्लैक होल के इमेज के नाम पर आधी सच्चाई दिखाई जाती है। क्वेश्चन के लिस्ट आप डिस्क्रिप्शन से भी देख सकते हैं। तो चलिए मिलते हैं आभास सर से।
So my first question is, sir, my first and the fundamental question is that many of our viewers may not have their specialization in science background, to be more specific, physics background, right? So I want to ask is high school physics enough to understand this book and grasp most of its concept?
High school physics, to be frank, is not enough. Higher secondary level physics is enough. Higher secondary level. I think I have kept in background, no, the higher secondary, say 11, 12, and those who are really keen, they can follow it. But high school students may not be able, they may be able to partially appreciate.
Okay. So
higher secondary.
So from basics, you have covered everything.
Yes.
Yeah. So, sir, one more question is that have black hole been a controversial topic in the international science community?
Yes. See, you have heard, mostly many have heard that Einstein did not believe in black holes. Although it came, the solution came from Einstein's equation in 1916, it came, but Einstein himself did not believe in black holes. Then this much everybody knows. Then it is portrayed that Einstein was not able to understand his own theory. He was intellectually little senile. He had intricacies of general relativity when he did not understand. Black hole is fine. And ultimately in 1939, the solutions were found, star should collapse to black hole. And whatever problem in 1950s, black holes were discovered in the cosmos. And 1960, all the mathematical problems were removed. And from 1960 onwards, it is fundamentally derived all those things. And there is no controversy, everybody believes. But this is wrong. This is wrong. From Einstein's time, not only Einstein, most of the founder fathers of general relativity had problems with black holes. And after 1960 onward, any number of very reputed relativists have problem. And afterwards also, many people working in quantum gravity have a problem with black hole. To actually drive home this point, I would like to show you my first slide. Here you see the concept of mathematical black hole. Black holes have always been controversial. We know that Einstein did not believe in black holes, although it arose from his general theory of relativity. And then we are told, although Einstein did not believe, all the problems, theoretical problems, were actually solved. And after 1960, whatever remaining problems were there, 1960, everything was hunky-dory. And all the physicists, Einstein also died in 1955, all the physicists now believe in black holes, and there is no loopholes in this entire black hole paradigm. But this is perfectly wrong. Though most of the overwhelming physicists believe in black holes, there are many who have been questioning, and the problems do remain. In order to explain this thing, drive home this point, first I will show you this slide. You can see these black holes. The ideal black hole, simplest black hole, is just a single point, as if a massive star has just collapsed to a single point. And otherwise, there is an imaginary surface. It is called event horizon. So an event horizon radius is twice the mass of the point. Here there are other units, g and c square. I have not taken them, set unity, but it is basically proportional to twice the mass of the point. And this is event horizon. So idea is that any light, say light is there on this event horizon, it cannot go out. It can only fall inside or can move here, stay here. And inside, even if I try flash light outwards, it cannot go outward. It will fall inside. And this is called, so earlier it was called Schwarzschild surface, and later from 1965 or so, it is called event horizon. So this is the idea of black hole, but peculiarity is that no light can escape. And in addition, there are other mathematical problems. Let me explain. See, idea again, black hole is this thing, this picture explains. So this is the event horizon, this is imaginary. And the entire thing is a single point singularity, where density is infinite, gravity is infinite. So anything coming here inside just cannot go out. Even light cannot go out even if we try. And let me explain the peculiarities. What is the peculiarities? So we say that relativity says, the space-time structure is gravity, and that is determined by the mass energy of the source. Here, in case the source is a point mass. So the space-time structure, whatever they are given by some parameters, technically called metric coefficients, and they show peculiarity. Normally, we expect that space-time structure because they call this is not a singularity horizon. This is a perfectly normal place. Then space-time structure should be all regular. No parameter should be zero or even infinite. But the space-time structure become actually, it go haywire. One becomes zero, two parameters are there, one becomes infinite, which is not expected. And this is the reason, and that Einstein had problem, and other forefathers of general relativity. And when you come inside, again space-time structure parameters change their sign. So as if time becomes space, space becomes time. Even now it is told that inside the black hole, times become space, space becomes times. You can say this mathematically, no problem, but physically this is not understandable. Nobody knows, because initially you start with a point particle and you said space is space, time is time, but then after some time you are telling space becomes time, time becomes space. These are confusing things. Mathematicians can tell anything, but physically not unacceptable. And so later mathematicians had many new parameters, new coordinate transformation. And they said, now we have all this, something was zero, infinity, we have removed those things. Now things are normal. And these become finalized by 1960 or so. And then said there is no problem. But actually problems were there in Einstein's time and after Einstein also. And here let me tell one thing, that this black hole is called Schwarzschild solution, Schwarzschild black hole. And Carl Schwarzschild was indeed the first mathematician who solved the Einstein's equation for a point. But he got another solution. And in that solution, Schwarzschild told that black holes should not be there. A star cannot be compactified up to here all the way. They cannot be, the black holes should not be there. Einstein also believed so. Later, Hilbert, very famous German mathematician, and before that something called Droste, a Dutch physicist, they gave a solution, actually that gave rise to black holes. But both of them, the Droste had problem. He got this solution, he said physically there are problems and a star should not be a black hole. A star should not be contact all this way. And Hilbert also has similar problem. So Hilbert was a mathematician, he could foresee that one can do some mathematics and apparently remove these peculiarities here. But then Hilbert told this transformation which you are doing, they should be non-singular. It is not that you are hiding one infinity with another infinity. And that is what precisely mathematicians do. So they do some mathematical dressings and they think the unphysical aspects gone. but no unphysical aspect is gone. Even this is the unphysical, the light cannot go out. And inside light cannot move out, only has to fall in. This is unphysical thing. And these do not go away. These properties do not go away by any mathematical transformation. So they told, say, Schwarzschild, Droste, and many others, and Einstein, they told that a star is compressed, should not be compressed all the way up to this horizon, r is equal to 2m. But it could be marginally larger. It could be a small fraction, maybe a 1/1,000,000, 1,000 times larger. Then there is no problem. Then instead of a vacuum black hole, I said earlier it's a black hole. You do not have all these problems. So if this is slightly greater than 2m, then you have a full star, full of matter. There is no singularity. So they envisaged this kind of thing, but they could not. That time, no astrophysical black hole was discovered, so they did not elaborate, but they told that it cannot be compressed. But this is what I have shown, and many other physicists, I will tell you. So they have also opined that it must be like this, exact black holes cannot be formed. So what this thing I will call a quasi-black hole. Sometimes these days it is called black hole mimicker. Almost r is equal to 2m radius, but marginally, maybe 1 centimeter, even 1 nanometer, if it is larger, then it is not black hole. So it is full of matter, not vacuum. And there is no event horizon. This is a physical surface. Now no vacuum, event horizon. And more is there is no singularity. There is no problem. Space-time is regular everywhere. All parameters normal. So if we have quasi-black holes, they will look like almost black holes. So now you will tell, but astronomers are discovering black holes every day. Indeed, there have been thousands and thousands, but very strictly, these are black hole candidates, and we cannot tell they are exact black holes. They could be quasi-black holes or black hole mimickers. And for most of the practical purposes, they will appear as black holes. Now about this controversy. See, you know, Einstein did not believe, but it is not Einstein. Carl Schwarzschild get the first solution, and his solution says no black hole. And this, whatever we call black hole, it came from David Hilbert's solution and Droste. And Hilbert was apprehensive. Hilbert told that you do mathematical transformations, but those transformations should be non-singular. He was apprehensive. Then very famous astrophysicist that time, Sir Arthur Eddington, he did not believe in black holes. He said also stars cannot be compactified all the way. I have told that Droste he found. Droste told that exact black holes cannot be there. Then other very famous relativist, Marcel Broglie, during Einstein's time. Then Jacques Hadamard, then Lancos. They had all problem. Lau was Nobel Laureate in some other area. Then Gullstrand, he was also Nobel Laureate. And this is Japanese, he came late, 1939 or 40, very famous Japanese relativist. He also solved everything, but he also told that exact black holes cannot be there. So it is not Einstein. Many of the founding fathers of relativity were against black holes. And if we read my book, even after 1960, any number of physicists objected to black holes. First is Paul Dirac. Paul Dirac is, everybody knows, Nobel Laureate, one of the finest theoretical physicists ever. And Dirac wrote one of the first book on general relativity. It is even read even now. Sir Fred Hoyle, who is very famous. William Fowler. Fowler got Nobel Prize with Subramanian Chandrasekhar. Then many distinguished physicists. William McCree, you may not have their name. Elizabeth Hilton. Then in 1960s, I will show you Janice, Ezra Newton, Winnie Kaur. Then Nathan Rosen is very famous collaborator of Einstein. He did not believe in black holes. Louis Biel, French physicist, and our Jayant Narlikar. I will show, actually, Jayant Narlikar probably coined the name quasi-black hole in 1988. Then many famous top-ranking theoretical physicists. F.I. Cooper-Stock, she died a few years ago. And see, this is a long list. I am not go through it. But from here, you can see, so there is any number of top physicists and relativists who did not believe in black holes even to date. And what I have not shown, after my work, many theoretical physicists started questioning black holes. So they had quantum gravity training, and they are giving alternatives to black holes. And they have been telling that exact black holes may not be found because of various Hawking radiation or quantum gravity reasons. There are 20 such researchers, and they have almost 50 such papers. In my book, those references are given. Such papers are coming now. So it has always been controversial, not only Einstein. So it is continues to be a controversial topic.
So people like us are amazed by the fact that a true black hole has a zero mass. Okay, and is it true? And I am adding one more question: is did someone prove or verified this? And what about the size of the black hole?
See, now when we say black hole has zero mass, you know that black holes are the ultimate ground state of massive stars. This you have heard. Ultimate massive star means nothing more can happen. So in the ground state, what do you expect as an engineer also? Lowest energy?
Lower.
Okay.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's not ground state. So lowest energy. What is the lowest energy in relativity?
Zero.
Zero. And then you have this equation E is equal to mc square is equal to 0. If U is equal to mc square 0, what is the value of M? M is equal to 0. So lowest mass energy state should logically have M is equal to 0. So if black holes are indeed the ultimate ground state of collapsing matter, collapsing star, they should have M is equal to 0. It follows logically. Now what happens when the radius mass is equal to 0? Then the radius is equal to 0, R is equal to 2m. Whatever event horizon you are telling, that is R is equal to 2m, that becomes 0. So when you are ignoring that factor, you are saying black hole as a sphere. No, you are assuming radius is finite. But if this is 0, will it be a sphere? It will be a point. The point is a sphere with 0 radius. But black hole paradigm presumes the black hole must be a sphere. It is like in engineering, you have integration constants. Normally, you think that a black hole is a sphere, but it need not be. You have integration constant A and B. You may think that they are positive numbers. No, they could be 0. They could be even negative. In fact, in relativity, energy could be negative also. And black hole paradigm assumes that they must be positive. See, like that parameter, the mass comes from the integration constant. For sun, it is something. For Earth, it is something. Moon, it is something. And for a point mass, it need not be positive. It could be 0 as well. And it is not me. Now I am showing who gave these ideas. So this is an important paper from Physical Review Letter. Now you are a PhD doing, you must have heard Physical Review Letter, most respected physics journal. So I am reading from the last page of a certain paper, 1968. The Schwarzschild sphere, that is event horizon, R is equal to 2m, now becomes a singular point. It is not my paper. It is by Janis, Newman, and very famous relativists. So they thought that black holes could be a point. And they have ended this paper. It is clear that if our truncated Schwarzschild metric is to be considered as the physical solution corresponding to a spherically symmetric point mass, it is a point. Then the entire question of gravitational collapse beyond the Schwarzschild radius becomes meaningless. This is what Einstein was telling. This is what Droste was telling. This is what everybody was telling. I mean, 20, 30 authors. There's no collapse beyond Schwarzschild radius. So star has to be collapsed slightly larger than Schwarzschild radius at the most. This point of view obviates all discussions on the topological questions of Schwarzschild interior. Say in the Schwarzschild interior, times because space become times. It said all this are invalidated, all these discussions, because you have no Schwarzschild interior. It is a point which for many people have always been disturbing. So from Einstein to everybody, and this is the mainstream physics are telling. And how they end the paper? We wish also to point out that Louis Bell, French relativist, has come to a similar conclusion concerning the Schwarzschild radius by totally different methods. So they are not the only. Then next year, we had Bell's paper. So 1969, this is Louis Bell's paper, Journal of Mathematical Physics. And what does this paper say? Schwarzschild singularity becomes a point singularity. Now you know what does it mean? For a point singularity, R is equal to 0. that is radius r is equal to 2m is equal to 0. So m is equal to 0. So this paper is telling, like the previous paper, the actual black holes could be point, their mass could be 0. So you can see this is 1969, very important paper I have cited in my book. So it is an exact calculations. They are telling that black hole has mass is equal to 0. It's not a sphere, it's a point. And if it is so, whatever we see in the cosmos, very massive things, they are not black holes. They must be quasi-black holes or black hole mimickers. Okay?
Yes, yes. And yeah, so black hole has always been a glamorous topic, right from
Yes.
winning Nobel Prizes to selling million copies of books. So
Yes.
what makes this topic so hot and happening, sir?
See, this is because black hole, we know in the cosmos, it is the first solution of general relativity. And then from the 1950s, we have been discovering quasars, radio galaxies, and we know there is some massive compact object is there at their center.
Right.
And we know these compact objects cannot be white dwarf or neutron stars. So they have to be something. So it was very natural to assume that these are black holes those days. So then we have all the galaxies, center of galaxies, we have a massive, supermassive black hole. That is why it is very important for from cosmology, from astrophysics, and from physics point of view. And it is glamorous because we do not understand it.
So coming to a bit technical, that sir, as we know that Kip Thorne received the Nobel Prize in 2017 for his work on LIGO detector and observation of gravitational waves. So what are your views on this?
See, again, I'll tell you this thing. See, suppose what they are telling is that there is two compact objects which they think that the black holes, they are colliding and they are merging. And then a massive compact object has formed. On the upper panel you see, and that compact object, there's a black hole is formed. Initially it is unstable, it is vibrating. And this whatever gravitational wave they see, they call ring down singularity, comes from this vibration of this new formed unstable black hole. So this is called ring down singularity. But similarly, they cannot rule out this thing. Two quasi black holes are colliding. If they collide, also there will be a new quasi black hole which will be unstable, which will vibrate, and which can give rise to the same similar gravitational waves. They cannot rule out, but they do not consider this thing. So out of this thing, they are claimed that they have found black holes, which is completely illogical, because they have not studied this situation. So I actually discussed this thing with a LIGO theoretician, and he would not agree. But now see what happened, and what happened before that, we should understand this thing. See, we know black hole, this horizon is there. But before horizon also, there is a bigger thing called photon sphere. So horizon is at 2m, and photon sphere is 3m. And already the gravity is so strong in photon sphere, the light can go like this, circular orbit, photon sphere. So it is almost a quasi black hole. From here, as you go inside, gravity increases, light rays mostly fall inside. They can go out, but chances that they will mostly fall inside. So this region becomes almost quasi trapped, not fully trapped. Light can still go out, but chances are low. And because very few photons can go out, you cannot see the interior of a photon sphere. So from that viewpoint, even photon sphere is a virtual event horizon. And now when a lot of numerical simulations are done after this LIGO result, and I'll show you what they found. This is not my paper. Physical Review later a paper came few months after this claim of this LIGO claim. And this paper they told, and then there was an article on this paper, did black hole mimickers produce LIGO signal? Now see, it's not me. I was telling this to LIGO theoreticians, they would not accept. But a paper in Physical Review later appeared after a few months. And what these numerical solutions have shown, that gravitational waves are emanating not from the vibration of the event horizon, but more or less from everywhere, but mostly from that photon sphere. So mostly from this photon sphere it is coming, vibrating photon sphere. And both a black hole, true black hole, and black hole mimicker has the same photon sphere. And that is why you cannot say this LIGO signal may have come from black hole mimicker.
We are also, as a general audience, we are shown the images of black hole in social media, also in many places. But as a general viewer, I do not understand how we can capture something which doesn't even emit means which doesn't even let light to escape from it.
See, although you are a general audience, here you are wiser than many experts. And you are absolutely correct. When you say if light cannot emanate, how can there be image? There is no image. At the most, there is a shadow. Actually, there is not even a shadow. It is called silhouette. Some background, some light somewhere coming, and in between whatever black hole or say. So that is obstructing, and some diffuse thing you are seeing, that is actually silhouette. So at the most, they have found a shadow or a silhouette. No image of black hole can be found, as you are telling, and nobody has found one. So that is misrepresentation in the media. Now I am telling you what happened actually. Now I told this is the black hole, and then there is a photosphere. There is a photosphere around it, and black hole and a black hole mimicker have the same photosphere. Now I told you, you cannot go in peep inside this photosphere. It is difficult because photons cannot come out easily. So from this viewpoint, you cannot see event horizon. You just cannot. At the most, you can see this photosphere, and it becomes clear now. There is something, light is bent by the black hole or strong gravity. See, even the photosphere bends light. So light can go in a circular path. So background light is coming, they get so much bent here that you cannot see the interior of photosphere, and you see an inflated size. So all that image, you can see there is no image, there is a silhouette, and that is of photosphere. So it is a photosphere telescope in a strict sense, not event horizon telescope. And this is actually misinformation to say that you have detected image or even the shadow of a black hole. You have not, you cannot, you will never do that. At the most, you have seen the shadow of a photosphere. Even that may not be true. Even that may not be true. You may have seen something, some background light coming from accretion disk, and then in the background you have seen maybe that background ring could be accretion disk ring also. You do not know. So this is all wrong propaganda to glamorize this topic. They are not scientifically accurate. Thank you. Next question.
Yeah. So we also had a Nobel laureate this year in 2020, named Roger Penrose, sir, and he received it for his work on theoretical evidence of trapped surfaces. Right. So what are your views on this?
So this is very good question. I told that interior of black hole is trapped surface. We assume a black hole is there, and then there is trapped region. So inside everything, light has to fall inside. Now nobody has seen a black hole, and I told that probably black holes cannot be there theoretically because black hole has mass m. Black hole is the point. There is no such trapped region. But even if we ignore, so once you assume black hole, there is trapped region. Now what Penrose did, now there are actually exact solution of black hole formation with a lot of approximations, and that is a spherical case. So Penrose told that even if it is not spherical, there is departure, then also black holes should form. And what he did, he assumed a crucial thing. He assumed the interior of a star, there would be a trapped region. So this is what he was supposed to prove, and he assumed that thing. So he assumed in the 1965 Physical Review letter paper, he assumed that is many things. One thing is that matter energy should be positive, which is very good and reasonable assumption. Then he also assumed that sometime during the collapse, trapped region will form. So this is like assuming the black hole. And then he showed that if a trapped region is formed, even if there is a departure from spherical symmetry, a singularity will be formed. So this is hardly anything. So your main thing was to prove that black hole is there. You have to prove that trapped region is formed. You did not do that. You assume the crucial thing. It is 99% of the thing you assume. And then you say that once it is trapped region is formed, then a singularity must form inside black hole. So this is completely misleading by Nobel committee to say that he gave robust theoretical evidence. He gave no theoretical evidence. He actually assumed that during the collapse, a massive star would almost become black holes, and then singularity would form. That part he did, that it would be almost black hole and then singularity would form. But he never showed that it would be like a black hole. So this is completely misleading and false propaganda. I'm sorry to say this about the Nobel Committee citation. Thank you.
Yeah, and so this is the end of technical section. And at last, sir, any message for aspiring scientists and young mind who are watching you right now?
So first, you say you set an example. You did engineering from NIT, and you got very good offer at that you were from Raipur for a job, but you did not. So you had fire in you, and you wanted to do something in the space science, if not astrophysics. And you were lucky also. You hard work. You got PM fellowship, and you were doing PhD, and an Indian Institute of Science. So you set an example. It may not be possible everybody. So there's a lot of opportunities. Those who are from physics background, there are many institutes. There are many opportunities. One can go abroad. India also one can do a lot of postdoc opportunities. And from engineers also, there are opportunities to do with ISRO and other places. Engineers can do MTech also and then come back to this Space Physics Center, or they can do say technological things with various astrophysical projects. So these are opportunities, and you are doing that. But at the same time, I have another advice. We are flooded by popular science things every day on Facebook, everywhere, and mostly astrophysics. So all those things, when you read, you be extremely careful. You take all those things with not a pinch of salt, with a very big ball of salt. Because as I told, in this area of black hole, Big Bang, all one is try to glamorize more and more. How do we do that? We make them more sensational. And then only your article sells. See, even the Nobel Committee is telling he gave no robust evidence theory. And we know there is no robust evidence. He almost assumed that black hole-like situation will be found. And this, they are telling we have seen image of black hole, which is completely wrong. You have seen the shadow of Shilluk, and at the most photon sphere, nobody will tell. So it is from the top people, top experimental groups are telling, misguiding people. One can imagine what popular scientists are doing. So you can often see that we have seen evidence for parallel universe. This is completely nonsense. If you go carefully, these are all wrong things. They are propagated. So one has to be very careful. One has to know grain and chaff. One has to separate. But still, one keep on reading. Keep your enthusiasm alive. And there are a lot of opportunities you can do, a lot of things, unlike during my time. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks for joining our channel. And I hope your book becomes a big success. Thank you.
Thank you.